Hello and welcome to today's premiere, where once again I'm going to be in the live chat to help answer any of your questions. And in today's video we're going to be talking about ChainX's latest news, something that's going to be very interesting and not only bullish but also interesting, right? So you're going to be learning something new in today's video regarding ChainX, and then we'll take a look at Plasm Network. Now, first of all, to kick it off with ChainX, so we can see the price is currently trading at $10.60. So it is doing pretty good now that we have come out of that bearish trend, but we're not 100% out of that bearish trend yet. But nevertheless, I think today's news might have been the trigger for the recovery. But nevertheless, everything across the market has been doing well today. So it's not just ChainX. But enough about the price. Let's talk about this tweet here. So again, somebody in my community raised this to me, and I did get a bit too excited. I thought that ChainX have actually connected to Rokoku, but they have not connected to Rokoku yet. But there is something a bit more regarding that. So I think that they're ready to connect to Rokoku, just not a 100% confirmation of the connection, because they are under the test relays and Parachain section. So I'm going to be talking about that in a moment. But it's just to let you know here that no, they're not actually connected to Rokoku. So I'm sorry about that. I made a mistake. But I think that they're ready to connect, because in terms of code, they are ready. It's just that they're not officially connected to them. So if we go to Polkadot.js here, what I can tell you that I found interesting is under the test relays and parachains, where I thought that this means they're connected to Rokoku. And again, you can see that a lot of these which are connected, like Clover, Darwinia, Fala are here, and all the ones that went in on the first batch and the second batch and the third batch, even Hydra DX is here, killed. So yeah, ChainX is here, and the fact that ChainX was not here before made me bullish on this, because as soon as I saw this, I thought, okay, this is great, right? They're finally connected. But actually the connectivity takes place in a different section. But nevertheless, if you click on ChainX PC1 and you switch to the network, what you actually see here is SherpaX Parachain 1. So how interesting is this? Because this pretty much tells you that SherpaX are ready to be deployed, right? They're ready to take part in the Parachain auction. So they're basically just testing some stuff here. And that's probably the reason why they've added ChainX under that section there. Because remember, SherpaX is the wild cousin or the sister network of ChainX, where all the experiments are going to take place. So again, they would be using the same name like ChainX under this section here, but once you go into it, it changes to SherpaX. So they have to correlate, right? But again, you can't see, like you can see the number of BPCX. I'm not sure what this actually means. It might be something related with the testing phase. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not entirely sure, because this area of Polkadot.js is something that I'm not very familiar with. So again, this might be some stuff that they're working on that is in development at the moment. But nevertheless, it's good to see SherpaX here. What's interesting is when I checked some other ones, like for example Darwinia, I didn't see Darwinia Scrub being mentioned. So that's a bit interesting. Why is it that ChainX has SherpaX here, but Darwinia doesn't have Darwinia Crab, or Clover have something else, or Fala have something else, right? They're all the same name, whereas with ChainX, it's showing SherpaX. So that's interesting. Now, one other thing I want to talk about is in relation to the link here, as you can see on the top, on the browser window here. Up at the top, it says sherpax.chainx.org. So what does that tell you? Well, there's a similarity with the previous web wallet link, which was chainx.org. So dapps.chainx.org. So I was thinking, does this mean that sherpax.chainx.org is the link that's going to take us to the dapps? So I actually had a look at this, and no, it's not. So this website is currently inaccessible, as you can see here, but it is regarding China here, right? We've got a message from China here, right? So this website has not obtained an ICP filing according to the law of the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology of the People's Republic of China. So again, this website is not 100% reserved. Okay, it could be that they might be trying to reserve it, or maybe it's not even going to be this website. Maybe it's going to be something else. But the reason I thought that maybe this has something to do with it is just because it says here sherpax.chainx.org-explorer. So I thought maybe that's the link to their website, to the web wallet, which we're going to have for SherpaX. But no, it's not the case. It's likely going to be a different name, right? But we'll find out when they officially announce it. Now, the other thing I want to talk about here is in relation to their tweets. So what are the latest tweets from ChainX? Well, we've got the coming development, as you know, with ChainX, with the encrypted chat, with the encrypted messaging chat. So they're investing a lot of energy apparently to work on the official version of the coming in the first half of 2021. So that means that this should happen before the end of this month. So that's why they keep on pushing this and they keep on telling us about it, because soon we're going to see the launch. Now ZT Global, ZT Exchange is a very small exchange. I've never heard of them, but apparently they have listed PCX, and you can earn PCX if you stake and if you mine. So you can see here, this is the one of the latest tweets that they've posted from yesterday. But the big one that I want to talk about, which is from today, is with regards to ChainX launching the testnet of Bitcoin 2.0 at the end of March. So that is ambitious. We should be seeing this very soon now. So it could just be like a couple of weeks now. And yeah, I'm excited to talk about this, and I will be talking about this. But first, let's hear a word from today's channel sponsor, Curio Invest, who I'd like to thank very much for sponsoring this video. Let's hear from them and then we'll get back into the video. This video has been sponsored by Curio Invest. Curio's mission is to enable everyone to invest in and profit from collectible cars by using a crowdfunded, community-based investment model. Curio Invest will open up the collectible car market to millions of new investors. Now, Curio Invest also provides a simple platform to invest in these premium collectible cars. Their team of experts handpick vehicles based on their investment potential. The purchase price of the cars is crowdfunded by selling car tokens to investors on the platform. Now, by purchasing car tokens, you gain the right to share in any profit when the vehicle is resold. In addition, you can diversify your portfolio by purchasing tokens in multiple cars. Now, Curio are planning to launch a Parachain on Kusama and then on Polkadot, so they will partake in the upcoming Parachain auctions. Their consensus model is NPOS, which is nominated proof of stake, just like Polkadot. Curio's Parachain's native token is called CGT and is used in the staking mechanism. You have the option to become a validator if you're techie, and only 8 of them will exist at first, but the number will grow over time. Or you can become a nominator. To become a nominator, which means you need to stake to a validator, you will need a minimum of 5,000 CGT tokens, and to be a validator, you'll need 25,000. Validator pools act in the same way as we've seen with other projects on the Polkadot ecosystem. And what I mean by that is that the reward distribution is being spread out evenly across these pools. To cover staking as a nominator, which I'm sure is the part that you're most interested about, is as follows. Now, 25% APY is the target on a user stake, which equates to 200,000 CGT tokens paid as staking rewards. One thing to keep in mind is that if you do decide to unstake, it will take 28 days before the CGT tokens become available in your wallet. For more information on validators, nominators, staking, and payout schemes, please check the simplified guide in the description of this video. Now finally, there is a liquidity mining event on Uniswap on the CGT ETH pair, which has started as of today, the 10th of March, with weekly rewards distribution. For more information on that, please do check the liquidity event article from the description of this video. Okay, thank you for watching that. So now to get back here into ChainX launching the testnet of BTC 2.0. So if we open this article here, we're actually going to read this article in this video because it's not very long, so it's not going to bore you, but I do want to kind of talk about the different segments while I'm reading it. So ChainX's XBTC 2.0 was completed and the testnet will be launched at the end of March. The X Association and the PolkaX development team have some details and possible issues that the community needs to pay attention to should they want to participate. And again, PolkaX are the team behind ChainX. Now the name of the new XBTC 2.0 module is CX Bridge. For those of you digging in our GitHub from time to time, CX Bridge is used for cross-chain deposit and withdrawal of Bitcoin and is integrated into ChainX as a functional module. Compared with the 1.0 trust method, 2.0 uses the asset vault for asset management and collateral for risk control. So this is again something that we've been talking about when I had a look at their white paper and we're talking about the roadmap with 2.0 and the vaults for the bridges. So this is something that's really important here, because when we dig into this article you'll understand more. But like I was saying before, in order to have this vault you need to actually lock up PCX, and this vault is going to be the kind of like the middleman, the bridge, which is going to do the conversion and the minting of Bitcoin, the original Bitcoin from the Bitcoin blockchain, over to XBTC on the Polkadot ecosystem. So that is tradable within the substrate framework across all the different dApps on Polkadot, like Akala, for example, and as I mentioned in other videos. So yeah, this is important because 2.0 is basically going to be focusing on that bit. So that's important, right? This is what we want to see live with ChainX, because this is like this is a crucial part of the whole bridge that they're trying to build, right? Now to continue on here, so there are 3 roles in CX Bridge: ordinary users, so just users, asset vaults, and supervisors. Any user can apply to become an asset vault by locking PCX as collateral. So this is important here because you know what this does? It removes it from circulation, and of course the price does well, right? This is what we all want to see, especially as PCX holders. Now each asset vault will be bound to an associated Bitcoin address. Users can obtain the corresponding amount of XBTC by transferring money to the address of the matching asset vault. The same applies in reverse when users destroy XBTC to receive the corresponding amount of BTC. Now the address associated with each asset vault is supervised. When an abnormal transaction is found, CX Bridge will force the liquidation of the asset vault and its PCX collateral. So this is interesting here because it just shows you here that they do have a mechanism in place to prevent any kind of fraud from taking place, right? So that's great. This is what we want to see. Now, benefits of this system. The asset vault. So the PCX used as collateral to become an asset vault will receive 10% of the mining income of XBTC, in addition to the regular PCX staking income. We are still discussing whether the asset vault should also receive Bitcoin transaction fees. When a PCX holder participates in staking, the extra income of being an asset vault will incentivize the creation of more asset vaults. So that is pretty big here, right? Because remember, you're not only going to get 10% of the mining income of XBTC, but you'll also be getting your regular staking income. So there's all the reasons to become an asset vault, right? And I think that validators will try to become asset vaults. I think that they will, just because of this extra income that they're going to be getting, right? Now the user. So the user initiates a Bitcoin deposit request and needs to mortgage a small amount of PCX to prevent malicious attacks. For those attackers who initiate a deposit request but do not actually deposit, the mortgage PCX will be slashed. When users receive XBTC, they can get PCX as XBTC mining income to subsidize the transaction fees. Okay, so that's good. This is how you're going to get PCX if you're using the process. Now, more details about the XBTC 2.0 custody solution will be further announced when the testnet is launched, so stay tuned. Now, let's talk about the community FAQ, frequently asked questions, right? So, question 1. It is often seen in the community that Project X or Y is also a Bitcoin cross-chain project of the Polkadot ecology. Is it the same as ChainX? What impact will it have on ChainX and XBTC? So, it can be said that this is a problem that everyone's worried about, but I don't think there's any need to worry about it. All Bitcoin cross-chain projects are like seat access between Bitcoin and Polkadot. Users can choose which bridge to cross the river. To meet the market demand, even multiple projects together can hardly meet the market demand. ChainX has its own unique advantages, and XBTC will be more competitive in the Polkadot ecosystem. So the question now is, why do they say that? Because of course, as much as I like ChainX, we still need to understand why they're saying that. So 2. After the release of XBTC 2.0's custody plan, will the 1.0 plan stop? Well, at present, the XBTC 1.0 custody solution is working well. At the same time, due to the size that XBTC 2.0 can accommodate, is limited by the collateral, PCX, DOT, etc. of the asset vault. In order to ensure the supply of XBTC, the 1.0 custody solution is likely to be available together with 2.0. The solutions can exist at the same time and users can choose freely. Now, can DOT dual mining still be realized? In theory, when DOT can be used as collateral for asset vaults, the DOT dual mining can be realized, which is worth looking forward to. How to determine the mortgage rate, liquidation threshold, and other parameters in the future? Well, PolkaX calibrates these parameters for initial settings. In the future, the community can set and update specific parameters through on-chain governance. So yeah, this is the FAQ section, and it's always interesting to see these kind of responses, right? Because we need to understand more about what's going on, right? And again, we do know that there is a bit of a lack of marketing with ChainX, and I appreciate that. I'm trying my best to try and help them from this aspect. It's not always easy, right? Especially because the team is based in China, right? They speak Chinese. I don't know if everybody speaks English, maybe some of the lead devs. So again, this is something that we have to keep in mind here, right? And I do think that they can ramp up their marketing. So hopefully we'll see more of that in the future. Maybe they might even hire a marketing person who's going to manage the marketing and is going to be more active on Twitter. But nevertheless, they're busy, they're working, they're developing, right? They're not sleeping. This is the important bit, and we're seeing development progress. Now, to move on here and talk about the next project, which is Plasm Network. And again, I'm only going to do 2 in today's video. I know I normally do 3 as part of the news videos, but 2 in today's video because there just isn't anything else to cover from the Polkadot ecosystem so far in March. As soon as we get something else, I will be covering it, but for now, it's just these 2. Now, with Plasm, so we haven't spoken about Plasm in quite a bit of time. So Plasm started the month with the sponsors. UC Berkeley Accelerator Program. So they're actually sponsoring this program. They're sponsoring this program, and this is related to a university pretty much trying to teach students with regards to blockchain technology. I think this is what they're trying to do here. Now, to move on here, because I actually want to talk about other news here, not this one, but Scheiden Network. Scheiden Network, is this the name? What's this all about? What's this all about, right? I like the name. But if we look here, Scheiden Network is a dApps hub on Kusama that supports Ethereum and layer 2 technologies like rollups. Sister network of Plasm Network. So what did you think? And again, I was actually wondering here because ChainX has a sister network called SherpaX. Polkadot has Kusama, but Plasm didn't say anything about any names, right? So we've got Scheiden Network, right? That's the sister network of Plasm Network on Kusama, which is going to do exactly the same as Plasm will on Polkadot, and that is try to bring smart contracts from Ethereum over to Polkadot, except it's going to be done on Kusama. So there should always be a different name just to simplify things, and fair play to Plasm for creating Scheiden Network. I like the name. Now, another bullish article here, and this is with regards to OKX. So OKX have invested in Plasm. Now they will be serving as a gateway for the numerous users who hold DOT and Kusama tokens, granting them easy access to the Parachain lease offering. And I'm still waiting for OKX to list PCX as well, right? Because we know that it took part in that community voting. But nevertheless, they're obviously bullish on Plasm, so they've invested in Plasm. So you can be 100% sure that OKX are going to list Plasm. There's no doubt about that. Now, they were talking about Polkabtc there for a bit, right, when they were connecting. There was also a release, a technical release, testnet v1.8. Now, there was a podcast here with Fala Network, so we can see here that Plasm with Polkadot, with Fala, with Moonbeam, with Polkabtc, which is Interlay, and with Akala are all working together. They're all friends. So I would really like to see, this is where, once again, I want to reiterate that I would like to see ChainX trying to ramp up their marketing and maybe build stronger connections with this team, right? Why aren't they part of this group? It would be nice to see them part of this group, right? But again, Polkabtc are, but they don't have a token, but they're also a bridge. What else do we want to talk about here? That is Polkapets, of course. We want to talk a little bit about Polkapets. So Polkapets is, I've spoken about them before. It's an NFT platform on Polkadot. They're basically creating pets for all these different projects within the Polkadot ecosystem. So that's pretty cool, right? And this is the pet for Plasm, this tiger here. So that's interesting. Again, like I said in my NFT video, which I've done yesterday, a lot of these NFTs are normally infused with a specific value. So again, with Polkapets is the same. They have actually infused them. And if you destroy them, you actually get something. There's usually something, be it another NFT or be it some cryptocurrency. It could be something on the Polkadot ecosystem that you could actually get if you do decide to destroy an NFT. I am assuming there are multiple of these pets, right? Because otherwise, how could the community own one if there weren't enough? So I'm sure that they've minted a lot of them. But yeah, it's just cool, right? The idea behind it, definitely. I mean, we need to have an NFT platform on Polkadot ecosystem, right? Because we know of Ghost Market on Phantasma Chain, we know of the Ethereum ones like CryptoKitties and other platforms, like many platforms for NFTs. But on Polkadot, right? Fair play to Polkapets for having this idea. Yeah, I mean, there isn't anything else to talk about here. It's just this, right? It's just this. Let me know what you think. I mean, with regards to Plasm, I do see huge potential with them and Moonbeam, right? Because Moonbeam are focusing on bringing smart contracts from Ethereum to port them over to Polkadot. Plasm are doing pretty much the same thing, right? So, and they're not competing, right? They're actually working together, like I was saying there. And what's interesting here, there was one other article I actually wanted to talk about. I almost missed it. Actually, I had it open here. Right, so let's talk about this. What makes Plasm unique? What is the difference between Plasm Network and some other parachain? Well, dApp staking. So here we can see that dApp staking is a very strong and interesting feature which is only available in Plasm. PLM SDN token holders can stake on validators as well as dApp creators. By doing so, both nominators and dApp creators can get basic income from block reward. To make the long story short, you can earn PLM tokens by developing applications on Plasm Network, though you have to pay high gas fees to develop applications on other networks. So that's great, right? You can earn PLM by creating an application. So it's like they're incentivizing developers to develop because they're going to get Plasm tokens. There's also the multi-virtual machine as multi-chain feature. So Plasm Network is a multi-virtual machine. This means that they both support Ethereum virtual machine and WASM, so that you can deploy Solidity, Viper, and Ink contracts on Plasm Network. In addition to that, they also support multiple platforms. They're currently making Secret Network Bridge, Ethereum Bridge, and more. Disclaimer, Akala may have a similar vision. Okay, so they're just trying to say here. They're not competing. Again, like I'm saying, they have a similar vision, but they're not competing because they're working together. Like they're collaborating. We've seen the podcast. If they were competing, they wouldn't be in the same podcast together discussing, right? Why would all of these projects all talk to each other if they're planned to compete? And again, there will be some competition, but in a friendly way. Now, layer 2 implementations. Currently, we're implementing ZK Rollups and Optimistic Virtual Machine. In the future, dApps developers can deploy contracts both on L1 and L2, and we assume that a lot of Ethereum projects will use the rollup solution. They can use the same architecture on Polkadot so that they don't need to waste their work on Ethereum when they make a multi-chain application. And it's a community-driven project. They distributed 65% of the total supply to the community members through lock drops, and I do remember that. I do regret not participating in that. It's a shame. I was worried about the huge supply that they're going to have because so many people were locking Ethereum for a long period of time to maximize their PLM token return. So I was thinking this is going to be worth like pennies. So that's why I kind of stayed away from that. But it just shows you they're looking at a token burn now, so we'll have to see how that's going to act, especially because Ethereum's price has gone up significantly since they had that lock drop. Now, in addition to that, they know many projects that only raise funds from the very selected VCs with huge discount, and community members can get the tokens at the early stage. This is not our philosophy. We distributed tokens to our users first without receiving any funds. Then we raised funds from VCs. I believe this makes a difference in the long run. So that's great actually, right? Because it gave the users the ability to generate some income, right? To generate these tokens, which is going to provide them some income, right? Especially because you can stake. You're going to get dividends for stake and PLM. And if you want to ask me, can I get PLM? No, not yet. You need to wait for the Parachain auctions to start in order to get PLM tokens. You are able to get PLM tokens if you had participated in a lock drop for Ethereum, but that's long over. It's over. We can't, right? I can't participate. You can't participate. Nobody can. We need to wait for the Parachain auctions in order to get PLM tokens cheaper than when they list on exchanges, because you can bet that once they're on an exchange, the price is going to be extremely high. And at the end of the day, you're not spending any money in order to participate in these Parachain auctions. You're actually locking your DOT, you're locking your Kusama for up to 2 years, 6 months to 2 years, depends on the slot, and then you'll get it back. right? So the value could appreciate. Of course, the value could also drop, but it's likely that the value will appreciate as more and more projects want to become parachains and they buy DOT. So that's it from today's video. It's been a long one, but I'd like to thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Bye-bye.